Crews have pulled 2 bodies from the Florida coast after Wednesday's helicopter crash. The National Guard says 2 other victims are believed to be still inside the wreckage. The Black Hawk helicopter had 11 Marines and soldiers on board when it crashed during a training exercise. Heavy fog and bad weather may have contributed to the crash. Investigators are looking into reports that 2 Secret Service agents crashed a car at the White House while driving drunk. The Washington Post broke the story, saying the agents were coming back from a colleague's retirement party. However, a supervisor would not reportedly allow a sobriety test to be conducted. One of those agents may have been a part of the president's personal security detail. Well, local fire leaders want to help young people be safe after a local teenage boy was badly burned. Details on that are straight ahead. And then a car slams into a restaurant. It's all caught on camera. What caused the driver to plow through the window? More details just ahead. Firefighters want to help young people avoid injury after a local teenage boy was badly burned while playing with lighter fluid. It's been more than a week now since 14-year-old Jacob Kiefer was admitted to a burn center in Los Angeles. Online reports indicate he's in a lot of pain, and doctors continue a long process of trying to help him heal. The fire marshal wants to stop a trend of internet videos that show young people setting themselves on fire. Marshal Joe Poirier says teenagers are especially susceptible to temptation.
It gives the opportunity to juveniles to suddenly become a TV star. Juveniles are particularly impressionable and probably more susceptible to a dare than the general population.
We'll have more from the marshal and on an update on how Jacob is doing tonight at 6 o'clock. And take a look at this. A large branch from a ficus tree snaps and falls onto a car. This happened earlier today in Santa Barbara. The owner of the car was at the barber shop at the time, so no one was hurt. We don't know what brought the tree down, but an arborist is investigating. Well, get ready for the heat. KCOY 12 meteorologist Jason Stiff is in the First Alert Weather Center with more on this. Jason.
Yes, indeed. It was already very warm today, and we are far from being done. I wanted to show you this really cool photo. Now, most of our weather photos are taken from the ground. This one taken from an airplane. Joe Lesmeister sent this picture in, but you'll notice that the airplane shadow right there in the middle and a halo called a glory is surrounding it. A beautiful looking shot. Thank you very much, Joe, for sending that photo in. When we have any kind of weather going on up or below or on the Central Coast, take photos of what you see and email them to me here at jason.stiff@kcoy.com. Things are fairly warm outside right now. We have some breezes, a lot of sunshine, just a few high clouds, and look at that temperature. 82 degrees, the wind 18 miles an hour, gusting to 26. Visibility, it's not a problem, 10 miles. But look how much warmth we have everywhere. It's 80 degrees in San Luis Obispo. It's 78 in Morro Bay, almost 20 degrees warmer than yesterday. 80 degrees in Gaviota, but it's only 64 in Cuyama. And look at the difference between today and yesterday. Some places up to 20 degrees warmer than it was yesterday afternoon. And the wind is a bit windy, a little bit breezy outside. Santa Maria, the strongest wind at 18 miles an hour. The south coast could have some more in the way of sundowner gusty wind overnight tonight. I wish we had some rain. It's all in the southeastern part of the country, areas from Missouri into Arkansas, all the way down to the Mississippi River Delta. Even the desert southwest has some showers, but we do not. We have this ridge of high pressure in control of our weather, and it's not going to be releasing its grip on our weather for quite some time. So fairly quiet for us. We do expect a few high, thin clouds, but nothing bearing any rain for us in the short term. As we look at futurecasts, we can see a few more high clouds moving in for Friday afternoon, and we'll have a mixture of sunshine and high clouds Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That because this ridge is not going to be moving anywhere anytime soon. However, if you don't like all this unseasonable winter warmth, there is some relief. Next week, a trough starts to push in, giving us more of the marine layer, so we'll have some morning low clouds and fog, followed by some afternoon sunshine, and the temperatures will be noticeably cooler next week. Here's your marine forecast. The wind 10 to 20 knots, seas 4 to 5 feet out of the west, and the water temperature still 58 degrees. But look at these temperatures. This does not look like it's supposed to be 8 degrees before 8 days before spring begins. 85 degrees for a high tomorrow in Santa Maria after a mild overnight low of 53. San Luis Obispo 52 for a low, 83 for a high, even 80 in Paso Robles and in Morro Bay. That is amazing offshore flow there. there for the South Coast. Mid to upper 80s in most locations, and keep in mind there will be the potential for some records falling the next couple days. It'll start cooling on Sunday, but it'll still be well above average. And then next week, cooling a little bit more. We'll have more low clouds and fog each morning. Highs cooling into the 70s, but even when it cools down 10 to 15 degrees, that's still above average for us. San Luis Obispo between 80 and 85 tomorrow through Sunday. 70s after that with some morning fog, but well above average. Paso Robles, same situation. Upper 70s and lower 80s through Sunday. Lower to mid 70s after that with some morning fog, but afternoon sunshine. And for the 5 cities, 82 degrees tomorrow and Saturday. 70s Sunday and Monday, even into Tuesday afternoon. And then upper 60s with some morning fog after that.
Thank you, Jason. If you are thinking about tying the knot, get ready to shell out a hefty chunk of change. According to the Knot magazine, the average couple spends more than $30,000 on nuptials. The Knot says the wedding venue eats up the biggest portion of the wedding budget, followed by the engagement ring and the band. The cost of invitations actually went down possibly because of electronic save-the-date applications and wedding websites. London's National Gallery Museum has banned the camera extension pole, better known as the selfie stick. A spokeswoman said it was a precautionary measure. They want to make sure none of the artwork is damaged. Several prestigious museums have already banned those devices. New York's Museum of Modern Art and the Metropolitan Museum of Art have banned them, along with Washington, D.C.'s National Gallery. Much more news coming up at 6 o'clock tonight. Here's what we're working on. The Mustangs and the Gauchos square off against each other tonight at the Big West Tournament. Our Dave Valley is in Anaheim, and he'll bring you a live report. And a new place for crime. Find out how the drought is actually giving criminals new ideas to vandalize property. Those stories plus all of your Central Coast local news coming up at 6. Well, surveillance video out of Aurora, Colorado shows a car hitting a woman, slamming into a pizza shop, but then the woman walks away. Mark Meredith shows us the incredible video.
Dutch Brothers Pizza is used to walk-ins like the woman on the left, but they never thought they'd have a drive-through window like this. The driver of the car reportedly hit the gas instead of the brakes and plowed into not only the restaurant, but a woman passing by.
And the whole store was moving, and that was crazy.
Workers tell us they're just glad their building still stands, adding their biggest worry was for the woman who came in by accident, the one who was just walking by.
They was trying to find out what's going on with that girl, and was like lots of blood in there.
The woman who ended up on the hood somehow bounced right back. She's expected to be okay. As for the people in the car, friends tell us it was all just an accident.
But everybody is okay, safe and sound. So we're just very grateful, and we just thank God that it wasn't no worse.
Despite the damage, the Pudge brothers aren't slowing down or even stopping. The restaurant is staying open, still making pizzas even without a front window. The car's long gone too. Police will have to consider charges tomorrow. And as for that video, it just goes to prove not everyone's cut out to be a delivery driver.
New developments in the Ebola outbreak. Find out what the World Health Organization's now saying about the deadly virus. And getting older doesn't necessarily mean slowing down. We'll show you some folks who are prime examples of just that. Stay with us. Updating our breaking news story now that we just reported at the top of our newscast. It's a fire broke out at an apartment complex on the 500 block of West Sonia Street Lane, right off of South Depot Street. Our reporter George Kiriyama is on the scene now to tell us what's going on. George?
Well, Paul, I can tell you the firefighters have put out flames that were shooting out of the roof of one of the units here at the Sky Apartments here in Santa Maria. The firefighters still on the roof right now, putting out hot spots. And firefighters are telling me that this fire started in a second-floor unit, possibly a balcony, and 8 other units will be affected by this, either smoke or water damage. Approximately 40 people affected by this. We have 3 minor injuries, 1 person reporting a minor burn. We don't know if this person was in that second-floor unit. A firefighter reporting that he has suffered smoke inhalation, and 1 police officer says he got something in his eyes. Again, this fire started approximately a little before 4:30 here at the Sky Apartments, which is at the corner of Depot and Sonia here in Santa Maria. A number of residents are across the street right now just kind of waiting and watching this as it unfolds. But again, this fire appears to be out. They're still on the roof trying to put out these hot spots here at the Sky Apartments. But the latest here, developing news in Santa Maria. George Kitayama, KCOY 12, Central Coast News.
George, appreciate that. Any clue on how this fire started?
Firefighters right now are not saying how the fire started, but they think it started on the balcony. So that's what investigators will be looking at first and then go from there. But no cause as of yet.
All right, George, thank you so much. We appreciate that. Turning now to Ebola crisis on Ebola right now. An update on the Ebola crisis out of West Africa. The World Health Organization says the outbreak has topped 10,000. This is the biggest Ebola outbreak in history. That's according to the UN Health Agency. A massive international effort to stamp out the deadly disease has slowed the rate of infections. And just today, an American health worker who contracted Ebola in Africa will be sent to a Maryland hospital for treatment. The patient's name is not being released. Stay with us. We'll be back with more news in just a moment. We're following breaking news, an apartment fire in Santa Maria. Dave Alley is at the Big West tournament. That's all coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. We hope to see you then. Have a good night.